Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Bank stocks set to fall in the coming weeks. Analysis http ntvforex.com News ID CCC5BB 9/14/2028 55:37 AM. Dear fellow stargazers, happy full moon. Though from the geocentric view, Saturn entered Aquarius back in March but has since returned to Capricorn. Today is its heliocentric ingress and could be considered its official move into that sign. If you'd like a light-hearted view of what this might bring, I've written a piece about the potential influence this will have on fashion, which you can find on the website. NBSP https www.financialuniverse.co.uk Fashion Saturn Aquarius. Saturn is the planet of seriousness. Its arrival in one of the air signs marks a period when it's essential to put your thinking hat on to organize and construct. You might like to think back to the last transit of this area, 1991-1993. Recall that this was a most interesting time on the political world stage. Many new states emerged, Belarus etc. following the collapse of the USSR. True, this transit coincided with the conjunction of Uranus and Neptune, but the influence of Saturn in Aquarius was seen and felt as some attempted to hold on to ideas that were past their sell-by date whilst simultaneously trying to adapt to fresh political ideals. Though I think it rather early to be discussing the collapse of the USA, it does seem clear that fractures are appearing in that union of states. As I prepare for the EZAR panel https ezarastrology.org NGB conference, where I will be discussing with colleagues various techniques that may be used to decode the planetary positions for the upcoming presidential election. I have been looking closely at the chart for the inauguration in 2021 and see nothing to correct my long-held view that realignment and political restructuring of the USA will be necessary in this decade. That is likely also true of Europe. I'm giving my first talk on the outlook for Europe this Friday, for my friends in Dublin, and where the proceeds will go towards resolving homelessness in the city. NBSP https www.meetup.com Astrology Ireland Events 2723162114. It has been fascinating to research the effect of major transits and directions to the chart for both the Treaty of Rome 1957 and the formation of the European Economic Community EEC in 1958. Given their age, it could be argued that they are preparing for retirement. With that, though, comes the opportunity for new alignment, which would be appropriate given that so many of the slower moving or outer planets change signs in the next few years, and needs will be radically different to those of the mid-20th NBSP century. Gold. You may remember that I thought that gold prices would rise in August. True, I expected them to do a little better in this last week, but even so, gold has been on the move. The recent surge in price coincided with the Mars-Jupiter geocentric square at 19 cardinal. This aspect repeats mid-October, the key week beginning October 19th. An increase to desire to own this precious metal would coincide with other developments. Saturn's Aquarius ingress will likely bring new pressure to the banking industry. I understand from recent news that Warren Buffett has sold all his bank stocks and is moving into gold, something he said he would never do. Bank stocks may be the first to fall in the coming weeks, with some banks collapsing altogether. We might reasonably expect news stories on this theme to develop by the equinox on September 22. Crypto. Saturn and Uranus are the CO rulers of Aquarius, the sign associated with new technologies and advanced thinking. It is of little surprise that the various stages of development of crypto and blockchain currencies are linked with the Saturn-Uranus cycle, which comes to its last quarter phase next year. Deciphering the planetary combinations at the end of this year is complicated by the positions of Mars, Vesta, and Jupiter. I think it probable that the price of Bitcoin will surge as Jupiter moves into Aquarius from October 12 NBSPA, but hit difficulties in 2021 when Neptune opposes Saturn in the chart for Bitcoin's launch. A fall in value through seems more likely than not. Equities. If history repeats, then 2021 and 2022 will be singularly challenging for equities generally. Clues as to just how hard this will be will likely appear from today's full moon. This lunation coincides with Venus' opposition to Saturn still moving through the banking sign of Capricorn. And yes, this is another factor suggesting bad news from the banking sector. We should also be mindful of the upcoming Mars retrograde station on September 10. Though equities have surged in recent weeks, this Mars station may yet be an important marker. In November, Jupiter and Pluto align in Capricorn for the final time in our lifetimes. So far, this wealth-giving cycle has coincided with markets moving in upward trajectory despite the many COVID-19 amongst other reasons that might have been expected to see them turn in the opposite direction. Though equities could suffer before the next full moon, they may yet reach ever higher in October. Mars, you will likely find this as shocking and appalling as I did, but when eventually Michael was discharged from hospital on August 3, he was there from one full moon to the next. He was found to be suffering from malnutrition, a condition he did not have when he went into hospital. Needless to say, we are addressing that issue. I am a Libra, and Mars' long transit of its opposite sign of Aries has me all fired up and angry, not just at his treatment but that of others still in the ward and denied family visits due to COVID. Putting this extra energy to good use, and given that my patients and nursing skills are not as good as I wish, my displacement activity has been therapeutic NBSP work on presentations and clients NBSPA, much of which seems to involve property and careers. So many people seem to be turning fascinating corners and rediscovering long-hidden talents and enthusiasm. I'm delighted to report though that Michael is eating really well and is now able to stand and even take a few steps. Please, keep your good wishes coming. They've done wonders for us, and I'm cautiously optimistic that we will turn a corner and put this long episode behind us. Until the next newsletter, hoping that wherever you are safe, well, content and surrounded by good friends and neighbors. Yours from the stars, NBSP Christine, NBSP author, Financial Universe 2004 and 2009, Exploring the Financial Universe 2016, Beginner's Guide to the Financial Universe 2017, Navigating the Financial Universe 2019, OPA UK October 24, 2020, IAA Conference November 6-8, 2020, NCGR Taiwan Chapter November 2020, OPA December 10, 2020. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors.